Um, I'm here playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition with Virgil, obviously, as you can see. And if you're paying attention to my title, this is my personal theory on the upcoming Devil May Cry 5 that I thought about the other day, trying to work out the thought processes on it. Let me know what you guys think about it, but I've been hearing a lot about, excuse me. I've been hearing a lot that V is Virgil, or some of the recent videos that I've been seeing, V is Mundus, which sure kind of makes sense to me that V could possibly be Mundus. However, I don't know how I feel about that, just for the simple fact that, you know, the big bad guy in Devil May Cry 5 is going to be Urizen, and I just don't know how I feel about Urizen and Mundus being part of Devil May Cry 5. I just don't know how I feel about that. However, I think that there is a possibility that V, Virgil, and Urizen are all one and the same. Now bear with me on this, because I know hearing that might be like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's go over what we saw in the first couple of trailers that came out for Devil May Cry 5. We all know that Nero gets his Devilbringer ripped off from a cloaked figure. We're all pretty certain that that's Virgil, right? We're all pretty unanimous about that being the case, for the simple fact that he was actually able to use the portal ability and change Nero's severed arm back into Yamato. So it seems pretty cut and dry that the cloaked figure in the first couple of trailers that we saw is definitely Virgil. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that V could be Virgil, for the simple fact that in Devil May Cry 1, Virgil was taken over, or not necessarily taken over, but corrupted by Mundus to be his knight, to be one of his lackeys, Nilo Angelo. Now, while, yes, that's true, and while I can see how Virgil getting back at Mundus could be him using Mundus's other lackeys to his advantage in his weakened state. However, again, that just doesn't sit right with me. But again, the cloaked figure that we see in the beginning of some of the first trailers is definitely Virgil. We can all agree on that, I think. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how does Urizen tie into that? Well, think about it. Virgil, in a weakened state. Last time we saw him was in Devil May Cry 1. A corrupt knight working for Mundus. Now, with Mundus being destroyed, quote-unquote destroyed, we'll say it that way, by Dante, after however many years that's been, he's now retrieving his sword that he lost in, here in Fortuna, which Nero had forged back together and took his own. So the way I see it is that in a weakened state, Virgil retrieved his devil arm, okay? Retrieving his devil arm so he could do his best to gain his full power back, as it once was, or at least the level that it was at in Devil May Cry 3 before he was corrupted by Mundus, okay? But with his sword, with his devil arm Yamato, he is now able to open up dimensional portals. And if you recall, he tried doing this in Devil May Cry 3. That's why he rose the tower Timinigru in order to open the breach between the human world and the demon world to rule over the humans, which is something Virgil has always wanted to do. Okay? Well, I see it this way. Virgil, in a weakened state, retrieves his devil arm from Nero, who has had it in his possession for quite some time if we go in the chronological order of Devil May Cry. And seems like when you look at Nero's Devilbringer, it seems like it's gotten a lot of wear, it's gotten beaten, it's gotten used a lot. So, you know, he's been using it to his advantage. But obviously, when Virgil takes it back, you know, we know Nero obviously gets his robotic arms, the Devilbreaker, which is really cool. Anyway, with his Yamato returned to him, he has to find a way to regain his strength, regain his power, so he can once again attempt to rule over humankind. I think Virgil, in a weakened state, summoned this tree. The tree that's in Devil May Cry 5. Okay? If you have an Xbox One, you are an extremely lucky person. I've been dying to try to play that demo on a friend's Xbox One or something. But I know that the tree in the middle of whatever the city is called in Devil May Cry 5 is a big, big plot point for that game. Now, think of it this way. Virgil, in a weakened state, now with his Yamato, able to open portals with his Yamato, summons this tree, this demonic tree in Devil May Cry 5. And here's where Urizen comes in, okay? Either through demonic power, through demonic stature, or just a name given to him by humans, I think that Virgil has to attach himself, has to become one with the tree in order to sap power not only from the demon world, but from the human world as well, killing humans left and right and draining the power from mankind itself through the tree. And if you pay attention to Urizen in the Devil May Cry 5 trailers, you can see, or somewhat, it seems like, it looks like, seems like he is attached to the tree itself, at its core, at its base. Okay? So the way I see that is, Virgil summons the tree, has to become one with the tree in order to regain his power, therefore either purposefully or inadvertently becoming Urizen himself. Now think about this. Virgil, who is now called Urizen, cannot leave the base of the tree because he's using the tree to sap his power, or to sap power from the world and give it to himself. He can't leave the tree at this point. Virgil Urizen cannot leave the tree. If that beeth the case, and he starts to get some powers back, this is where V comes into place. How is Virgil supposed to go out? How is Virgil Urizen supposed to go out into the world and find out what mankind is doing? Find out what his Devil Hunter brother is doing? Find out what the young Devil Hunter Nero is doing since he's lost the Devilbringer? You know, how can he do that if he can't leave the tree? Because if he leaves the tree, he's just going to be in his weakened state and lose his power faster than he can gain it. What is he to do? Well, I think that he created V. And V is nothing more than an avatar that Virgil Urizen uses to infiltrate the humans, infiltrate Devil May Cry the business and to try and deduce what the devil hunters around him are doing to stop him from taking over the humans, as they have done many times before. And Virgil Urizen can't let that happen because he's so weak at this point. He needs the power back in order to rule over all. Hence why, in the newest Devil May Cry 5 trailer that come out not too long ago, it shows V's gameplay. And V, oddly enough, and I'm sure you've seen a video like this, V has the ability to basically do this, what I'm doing right here with the summoned swords with Virgil. Now, in Devil May Cry 5, they are shown as canes, and they are not as a resplendent blue than that they are in this special edition, or as Virgil's bright blue that it is. Which makes sense. Why? Because if V is indeed an avatar for Virgil Urizen, then he would only have a small, very small fraction of Virgil Urizen's power. Therefore, the summoned canes that V is able to produce are now a lighter shade of blue. They are not a royal light blue as this is, but it's more of a misty grayish blue, is how I see that. Plus, also, you might have seen videos of explaining that the cracks in V's facial features are because of an armor kind of thing. How Mundus in Devil May Cry 5, or in Devil May Cry 1, Mundus cracked through his statue to show his true form. Which, yeah, that makes sense. Because I know a lot of things and a lot of lore that once power starts to drain from an avatar, a hollow shell, something like that, the appearance of it starts to crack away. Cracks start to appear and it starts flaking off. So that makes sense. But I don't think it's Mundus. I think it's an avatar of Virgil Urizen that is slowly but surely using its power more so than it intended to. So, to basically put this in a nutshell and break it down as simply as I can, Virgil, in a weakened state in Devil May Cry 5, retrieves his devil arm Yamato from Nero, severing Nero's arm. With his devil arm back in his own hands, he plots to take over the humans once again. Weakened state Virgil then summons this demonic tree. This demonic tree sprouts in the middle of the city that is in Devil May Cry 5 and attaches himself to the base of the tree as he consumes power from both the demon world and the human world, that the tree is somehow connected to both. While Virgil, in a weakened state, is set at this tree in the base, he slowly but surely becomes one with it, thus developing the name Urizen for whatever reason. I have not looked into what that name could possibly mean, what it could be referenced to, whatever it may be. So, Virgil, in a weakened state, bound to the core of the tree, becomes Urizen. He needs to put his plan into action, but he cannot leave the tree or his power will slowly fade. Therefore, he creates V, an avatar, if you will, that can do his running around for him, infiltrate the good guys, Dante, Nero, Nico, Lady, and Trish, and always be one step ahead of them, knowing exactly what they're going to do. That is why you see V having the Griffin and the Nightmare that are clearly references to Devil May Cry 1 from Mundus. And you're probably thinking, well, if he's a Virgil Urizen avatar, why would he have those creatures that were Mundus's lackeys? Well, Virgil was corrupted by Mundus for quite a while, until Dante dealt with Mundus. So it only makes sense for Mundus's lackeys, once Mundus is defeated, to join up with Virgil, because Virgil was also beaten and basically left to God knows what after Dante was on Malay Island. Now, you're probably thinking that I'm a whack job, that I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, and you're probably right. But you know what? Let me know in the comments what you think. I am more than happy to discuss anything with anybody. You know, don't hold back. I'm not afraid. So let me know what you guys think about this theory. If it's plausible, if it's not, I understand. The community could be slightly divided. I get it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. This probably isn't one of my best videos. This is actually the first one I've done. But I would greatly appreciate a like. If not, that's okay. I'm Jeebus Weebus, and I will see you guys next time.